5 seconds is still in 5 seconds, so it's not.
My
Yeah.
adrenaline always pumps when we're doing this.
All right, so remember intro. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
you know what to do.
Of course.
Awkward silence. Who's he talking to?
Good morning, viewers. I hope you have your cup of tea ready. Got that kettle on, you know, because we all love that bubbling water. So I'm happy that you guys are watching today. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for having that time out and watching this interesting, mind-stimulating show where we discuss issues that affect us in the youth community while trying to figure out solutions to them. So if you have any questions or any queries, please email us on InspireFM, me and a cup of tea, at inspirefm.org.
Cuppa Tea at inspirefm.org.
Thank you.
Don't worry, man.
Tea
That's what
at
we're here for.
inspirefm.org. And follow, share, like, spread the message. And
Mhm.
today, our quote of the week is "Change starts with you." So if you want to see a change in the world, it's got to start with you. You know, Mahatma Gandhi one's right there. So yeah, my name's Ash, and what I do interesting today, I drank a really nice cold glass of water, and do you know that feeling you have when you drink cold water for the first time, and you feel it just like rejuvenate your body? You feel that cold just like rushing down your collarbone and your back.
Oh, those are good ones.
Those are
like
the
it's like
good.
all your pores just like open up.
Yeah, it
It's
just
like,
opens up. We're here with our
Wow.
guest, Amy, and Amy is a counsellor for the Limbury Ward. She is enthusiastic, amazing. She knows what she's doing. She's on the ball. So, Amy, would you like to say hello?
Hi.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything else?
Um,
If you're interested, we're going to talk about the articles. So feel free to, jump on if you have any thoughts to say.
Sure, jump right in it.
So we'll get back to you, Amy. So, Massam, is there anything I left out, bro?
Yeah, man. You didn't introduce me, and I feel really hurt. Like I know everyone knows me in it because I'm like
Everything
basically
has to be about
I'm basically the face of the show. But, like,
me.
I would really
Me?
appreciate
Such a
it if you just
narcissist?
told me.
Such
Yeah.
a narcissist.
Of course, man. Like everyone comes here just to see my beautiful face.
You know what it
Like,
is?
It's
the
just
case.
the way, innit?
I have to shake your hand on that,
I
man.
know, man. Thank you, man.
Amen.
See that. And then, thank you, Honorable Bar. You know,
Don't you about
he's always there helping us. You know,
Exactly. He's like our.
he's a guardian
Guardian
angel.
angel.
Yeah,
That's it,
That's
guardian
exactly,
angel.
man. Hey.
All right, let's move on to the articles, yeah, Massam.
But yeah, all right. So,
Anything are you gonna say? Interesting?
oh yeah, there was an interesting thing actually. It's getting bare cold, you know. So like, I feel like for me, I'm less and less likely to get out of bed on time because I've made.
He's a bear.
Nah,
You're
it's
hibernating.
happening, innit? That's why I'm going out the bed. I'm trying to keep warm. It's like
Are you hiding your honey?
it's in the tea.
Hey.
But what's happening is I'm getting like
Much
usually I
factory.
get out of bed at 7:20, like on the dot, no issues. Now I lied in until like 8:30. I'm not as productive, and like, to all the people there who are like those groggy people in the morning who can't get up because it's bare cold. Yeah, I'm gonna try get up early, same time, and try to get on with my day, and don't let the cold bother you. And I feel like that's something that we should try together if you're with me on that. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something across the lines. Yeah, I feel your pain. Like screw the cold.
Nah.
screw the winter.
You
You're really
can't say.
positive about it.
Bring forth your being, man. Look,
That's
don't
it.
let the weather affect how you act, innit, man.
That's it. You have that free will, if that even exists. Ooh, throw that in there.
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
But yeah, let's get
Alright,
onto the
let's go,
articles,
man.
man. So the first one I think is quite beautiful because as a sort of novice programmer myself, I quite like seeing this stuff. So there are a few Palestinians. One by the name of Yasmin Hellis, who is a 24-year-old graduate in English literature, and she was a teacher in English. She found a company that is basically
Company.
a company.
Sorry, that just
Nah,
said that
that's
really
not
funny.
that's not very nice. Are
I'm
you
mocking your accent.
are you mocking my speech
I'm a part of
impediment?
Brexit
Just
Leave.
because I'm an immigrant doesn't
Yeah,
mean you
that's
can
it.
treat me
I'm
like that.
I'm part of Brexit Leave, man. I'm
so am I, man.
actually a hardcore right-wing nationalist supporter.
Same here, man. I'm with Tommy Robinson all the way from Luton, innit?
That's it. The irony is there. He loves you secretly.
I'm not being ironic. I'm being true. I'm being serious.
Alright,
Let's get rid of those muzzies,
go with the
innit?
company.
Okay, of course, man. So yeah, she found an advert that's trying to hire, well, not hire, but enroll students to join this programming academy. I guess it's called Coding Academy, which reminds me of Code Academy. If you want to check that out, that's really good. We're not sponsoring them, but it's really good if you want to learn programming.
anytime we actually ever say anything out there, it's because we want to give those good
You know,
resources
man.
out because we care about the development
I
of
was
each
able to
individual.
I was able to code programs. I was able to code games because of that. It's really good.
He means Skyrim mods,
Minecraft mods, actually.
Minecraft mods.
Come
there you
on.
go.
Ooh.
But anyway, so they were established in 2017, and they got some funding from Google and a coding bootcamp that's hosted in London called Founders and Coders, and they've actually got a nice website called Founder Vine, and so it's founder as in the person who's founded something, Vine as in like that thing that died.
It did die. It did die. It did
Very
die.
quickly.
Oh, it was so jokes, man. Like 10 seconds of just dumbness. It was beautiful. But yeah, that's they also hold lots of coding events. Like if you want to get better, if you want to meet some new people, definitely check that out. Another tangent. Let's carry on. So what
I
they've
didn't even
done,
clock. Sorry.
I know. So what they've, that's not very nice. Like there's no need to do it twice.
I just want to click the bell.
It's okay. Next time. Anyway, so what they did is they've trained about 16 students, 8 females and 8 males, you know, because it's all about that gender equality nowadays. They've trained 16 aspiring programmers to secure high-quality jobs with companies or work as freelancers by giving them the skills to create production-grade software online. And I think that's really amazing because what that's done is that they've managed to help people in a very poor economic situation in Gaza, as we know that you know, due to the war with Palestine, and you know, it's not the best place right now, and the employment is at an all-time high, like 70% or something. Unemployment, sorry. So this is really efficient because what it's doing is not giving them money and say, hey, here's food, but rather it's giving them the tools to make themselves sustainable and keep them improving their own economy at home and make their quality of life much better for the long term. And I think that's quite amazing. And it's really accessible as well. All you need to do is have an understanding of the English language to an intermediate level, which is, I suppose, is quite difficult. But if you think about how globalized the world is, it's not too hard. And you just need some time and motivation. That's literally it. You just need full-time motivation.
Self-discipline.
So yeah, I think that's quite amazing, man. Like the fact that.
Time.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt you.
you best be apologized. It's self-discipline. Motivation is just is just a fraction of it.
Maths. Okay. But yeah.
It is.
I think that's
Learning
quite
coding's just like learning a new language. It's like a mixture of maths
Def-
and English.
It's definitely, actually. Have you had any experience with coding?
I got really into it when I was like 13 for
Ooh.
about a year,
Oh man, a year's a long time.
What? Yeah, that is actually really long.
but never went very far.
What was the extent of your coding?
More like HTML website
Okay.
design.
That's really amazing. So you would like
So you can make various images and code them into it.
Were you also doing anything like CSS? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like back in the day when you had like Tumblr and used to like edit your own blog, make it look cool.
Oh gosh,
But
that's
not to this level of being able to create like game mods.
yeah, I made Pokemon games, Minecraft mods, and it was really fun because what you could do is, and I think
Do I
this
press
is.
this now? Do I press it?
You can say it, but I'm still gonna carry on.
Alright, go on then.
All right. I'm still gonna press it, but I'm gonna finish off the story because I think it's quite nice. But what that did is it actually really helps your problem solving skills because what a lot of programmers know is that you don't know how to code anything. What you do is you basically have a problem and you use the internet and research to find out how to solve that problem. And when you solve that problem, probably 4 more problems come out of that. And
It's
then
so fun.
it's
It
all
really
about
is.
debugging.
It's all about logic.
And I feel like that's really helped with my sort of academic progress, and it's definitely helped me as a critical thinker as well. So, to anyone who's debating or contemplating about going into programming, I definitely recommend it. Now
That's
we can carry on to the next article.
Awesome. So next article is about actually a bit of cancer research. So recently, Oxford researchers have figured out a more efficient way of killing cancer cells. So what would originally happen is carcinomones or carcinamo. Yes, cinnamoa.
Persimmons.
That's a type of fruit, bro.
Oh.
Carcinamo. I don't know how to say that word, right? But it's a cancer cell that divides uncontrollably, and you find in like the lining of your organ tissue such as your stomach and like your like.
Do you gonna say
liver.
the lining or something else? Or
Yeah. So you find it there, and what would originally happen with old school cancer therapy methods? It would target the cancer cell, but the normal cells would shield the cancer cells from the immune system, which would actually kill those old cancer cells. So it would then, what would happen is those cancer cells that are being shielded by the normal cells find those nutrients and they restart the tumor again.
Right.
And what this does is this method destroys the surrounding I think it's called fibroblast cells, and it ensures that they don't carry on passing on the cancer. So it kills all the dead cells, kills all the cells that are shielding it, so ensuring that cancer cell that's being protected is killed. And they've done trials on human cancer cells, not on humans themselves, human cancer cells, and it's been showing that it's successful. And this is definitely a step forward to us curing cancer, which is actually a very positive thing. See, you see all these people like, I'm donating to cancer research, and like nothing's happening. And this is a recent discovery by Oxford graduates. So guys, your money is going to a decent place.
It's just like killing ISIS, isn't it? You just got to kill the entire peninsula of Syria and ISIS.
Oh my gosh.
And then, you just get rid of, ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
It's not like you create more hatred and anger.
Of course, man. You got to attack it at the root and its surroundings.
At the root, yeah.
This is the tangent bell moment.
Would you like to press it?
Thank you.
Brilliant. Awesome. So
no, but yeah, that's quite amazing. I do find research, it's beautiful.
Oh, what would be really interesting, this is beneficial to us because it makes us, the innovation that we go through in regards to individuals, like looking for going down science, the STEM, going down STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Full.
Also, checking out think tanks as well. I was researching those for quite a bit. It's a lot like research where you actually create something new by having a discussion with multiple specialists from different fields, and you actually think, all right, so you've got all of this experience and skills, and I've got all of this experience and skills from different places. How can we come together to actually make something better for humanity? And I think checking those stuff out is actually really important as well. But yeah.
Yeah, man. What's the last article?
The last article is quite a nice it's a little one, but it's quite nice.
I'll go for it, man.
So for the Mitzvah Day, which was a few days back, which stands for, well, it's basically the day of social action to bring people together.
I feel like this is Jenga biscuits.
Of course it is, man.
It's Jenga biscuits right here.
Yeah, and then when it all falls over, who's going to clean it up?
You are.
You are.
I said it first. I beat you to it.
I'm going to buy and clean it up, innit?
That's so rude, man. What are you doing that for? I'm going to buy some. It's not.
He's done so much for us, innit? The least he can do is do some more.
Clean our nappies. He did. No, I'm joking. He did not.
All right, but yeah, so this event was held in the London East Mosque, and it was a lot of volunteers from Muslim Aid and the Stone Newington Shul, which I'm guessing is a Jewish charity as well, and they came together to cook 1,000 bowls of chicken noodle soup for the homeless. It's quite nice.
I was going to make a very casually racist joke then, but I realised that is not right thing to do.
This is PC culture now, man.
Can't do it.
Got to press that freedom of speech.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, carrying on. So, what is the topic of the day? How are we going to engage in this, with our beautiful guest, Amy, and her, all that knowledge, and our, Massimo, you're beautiful as well. Even more gorgeous.
I know, man. Thank you. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Sometimes I feel like
that's why you've
a
got a
magnet
beautiful eye.
being attracted to you, That's how intense it is. Drink that tea awkwardly.
That just reminded me of my physics lesson, because we're learning about magnets right now. And basically, there's Fleming's left-hand rule. You've got the magnetic field, the current, and then the force. So
X, Y, and Z.
If you're attracted to me, that means you're coming this way. So your force is here. That means the magnetic field's here, and we're currently going backwards in time.
Okay.
Mad. Anyways,
beautiful, man.
That was physics right there.
Learning about all this goodness, this good
politics.
Knowledge. Oh yeah, politics. The less interesting. I'm joking. It's still good. It's still good.
All right.
So yeah, we're trying to talk about how to get youth engaged in politics, and this really it's a good springboard from our last week's episode where we spoke about how to make young people organize effectively.
Mm-hmm.
So what we were trying to know is how can we get young people more interested in politics? How can we get them engaged in politics and actively participating in local elections, council talks like the one where we met you at, or lots of just local local political events. So first, would you like to give a little sort of
Amy, who are you?
intro?
What is your
Yeah,
journey?
like
Who
yeah.
am I?
That's a deep question. Don't go too philosophical about it. But you know, your
Well-
political journey. Where did that start?
Where
Am
did
I
my
just
political
cells?
journey start? I don't know. I grew up in a very political household. We often talk about politics. Have always talked about politics a lot. My mother's extremely political. She comes from a small town in the northeast that most of them used to be employed by a steelworks that was closed down in the 80s.
Damn
And-
Thatcher, the milk snatcher.
Thatcher the milk snatcher, yep. It's not the word my mother uses for us.
Nah,
Oh.
she takes the bread in it. She took all the bread away.
So yeah, I was raised very left wing, and it was always really ingrained on me throughout growing up that you need to be engaged in politics. It's what people have fought for so many years. It wasn't until 1918 where some women were allowed to vote, some being the main factor there. So, you know, you can't take that for granted because other people have worked hard for your rights.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
Amen.
respect that. I do feel like in today's society, a lot of us feel as if this is my life. I've been born, and we don't actually remember the amount
This
of
is
people
mine.
who
and the amount of
went-
hardship that other people
and
have
s-
gone through in
for
order to
just
get
for
to the
you.
place where we
Mm.
are.
Yeah.
And we're also taking it for granted as well because having the right to vote, it was like universally. Like first, it was only granted to people who own property. Now it's to
Yeah.
anyone who's a citizen,
Mm.
and we're not really taking that to its greatest advantage.
Exactly. Originally, it was only men who owned land, and then it was only men who owned land or were
Women.
able to rent land.
And then it was women who could also own land.
Then it was women over 30 who had
Mm.
basically some money, and then
it just slowly like filtered throughout
exactly
until it gets to the bottom of the social barrel, which was
What I
women.
find crazy though is that there were people out there thinking about us before we were born.
Exactly. All this social change only happened because people, and especially young people, were out there fighting for it.
Yeah. That's it. Start the revolution, guys. Where's the pitchforks at? This is it. Inspiration done. Okay, so so politics and the youth community. So why is it? You know, I guess the real big question here, everyone, is why is it that people like ourselves or our friends or people that we know don't really care about politics, or we feel that we feel a bit apathetic. We feel like we can't actually bring a change directly, or that we don't actually know how to come along and bring that change.
Alright.
Because there's, do you want,
I feel like, were you going to go into a point or were you going to end in a question?
I was
Just
gonna elaborate a little bit more.
Go for it, man.
So
It's a free country.
we feel as if we can't bring that change, and that may even be because we as individuals may not know who to speak to or where to start, because forming a group is the most difficult thing to do when you want to actually bring a change. It takes a lot of time, and that foundation level is you require a lot of skills, I'd say.
So
Not skills, but
yeah.
the organizing
It is
organizing
soft
ability,
skills,
soft
soft
skills,
skills, yeah.
organizing ability, which
So
comes with time.
what I would like to ask you then is
Mhm.
so you said it already that you were always very political since a young age. So how's your perception of politics, especially local politics, has that changed from before you were a councillor and before you were in the Labour Party to after?
Yes, it has, because
So what were some conceptions you had before and after?
well, I guess I always considered politics to be very elitist and hard to get into, and there is definitely like
see that.
elitist elements. Like, was I looking up the other day? Yeah, there's definitely elitist elements. We've had 54 prime ministers, and 19 of them went to Eton.
Man,
Lit. I
Right.
wish I went to Eton, man.
I
Exactly.
know someone that goes to Eton.
Oh,
32,
well done, man.
32
Thank you.
of our
Use them.
54 prime ministers went to public, private schools. 27 of them went to Oxford, and 14 of them went to Cambridge. So there still is that elitist element in sort of central government, but realistically, I'd always thought of sort of local politics as being older white men, setting the sort of local
Standard.
times have changed, especially in Luton. We've got very, very diverse council. And actually, it's all about if you are active in the community and if you do put yourself out there, there is the opportunities there and you can sort of get involved.
Awesome. Amy, sorry, I just want to would you be able to speak into the mic just in case someone doesn't hear you? That's why.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. That's not a problem. 'Cause sometimes the mic doesn't pick it up and
it's got a very narrow pickup point because right at the center. So if you speak like that, no one can really hear you. So no one heard.
That's really it. So no, that's not a problem. But thank you. So we're talking about, I guess, the general kind of conversation is, what are the reasons for why we don't really care about politics, and how can we engage ourselves in more local politics? How can we make local and community politics more relevant to ourselves, or how can we bring that community change?
Well, from my conversations with young people like myself, I feel like a lot of people are intelligent, and a lot of young people are intelligent. They can understand the political structure. They understand how to make change. But what is so sort of powerfully looming over them is that they definitely see no immediate change, and they, due to the fact that it takes so long to actually create something worthwhile. But I don't appreciate you blowing on me. I smell all that peppermint tea on you.
Sorry, man. I didn't go like that. I meant to go as it was meant to go behind me.
Yeah, blow back.
Yeah, but it never worked out. The physics.
I got to smell.
There's gas in it.
I got to smell your beautiful breath and stuff.
Thank you. You're welcome.
But
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. So what happened was but basically what they feel like is there's no immediate change. So what that means is that they can't see a definite outcome. And that would lead you to say, all right, this is taking too long. And due to the fact that as young people, we are very, how do you say, affinited towards instant gratification, especially with social media. So if we don't see something instantly happening, we lose a lot of effort, because then we're like, we have to actually put hours and days and years into this. And I can understand that, because, I mean, as young people, our time is very, has to be spent well. If we're not going to, because we're at such a young age that I don't know whether I want to spend all my time doing one thing when there's so many things that can be explored. So not seeing that visible change quickly enough can definitely be a big demotivator. That's what I feel like is a factor, and to know why we're not engaged.
No, I agree. Exactly. In this day and age, we can go online, order something on Amazon, turns up at our house the next day. You know, you've got that instant gratification, as you were saying. Whereas in politics, it can take 2 years or more to see something actually happen, which can be disheartening, and people do expect you to be able to go in, do something, snap your fingers.
Magic.
But the structures that we have in place...
The bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy, exactly. Which is necessary for a good society, you know, working society. Means... But... It does mean some things can be disheartening.
Do you find it disheartening?
Sometimes.
Oh, like when?
Like when you want to do something, but there's no money.
Do you know what? Okay. So do you feel like that affects us as young people, like coming in, like getting those no's constantly?
Yeah, I do. I think
getting no's.
Like when you came to my ward meeting.
We should talk about this.
Realistically, like young people, we're very idealistic. We think, oh yeah, there's all these things can be done. It'll be amazing. The world will be a better place. Which, you know, eventually, hopefully it will be. But everything costs money.
Does everything cost money, though?
No, exactly. Not everything costs money. Using your time,
time
in
is
your
money.
community.
Time is money.
Using your time, organising yourself, putting yourself out there does not cost money.
Right.
I'm definitely community action.
So when someone says to you, all right, where are you going to get the money for that? How do you tackle that? Because, okay, as young people, we don't have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of wealth to our name. So we've got that time. So how can we give a nice response to saying, okay, you don't have any money to get this done. So how are you going to do it?
It depends what sort of thing it is.
Give it a go.
I see that because it goes back to.
Mm.
I have a question. So it depends on what it is. So because it goes back to, so we're getting lots of no's as young people, which is quite disheartening, and then we have an issue with the money.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like 2 factors already. Coming across constant barriers, such as the bureaucracy, getting no's, not having the resources, and then we're already like getting no's and no resources. It's like, is there even a point in getting involved in local politics or community politics? So my kind of question to you would be, what makes it complicated for you? What makes it what makes the whole process of change complicated? Is it the people? Is it us not being as organized?
I already know, man. Sorry.
A mixture of everything. It depends what sort of change you want to see, but there is a lot of bureaucracy, as we were saying. You need people to do stuff. Sometimes, you don't, but you're never working alone. You've always got to work in collaboration. That's what makes things complicated. You have to be prepared
to be diplomatic.
Exactly. You can't be an island. No man is an island, as they say.
Or woman as well.
No man is an island.
Yeah.
Isn't there a place called No Man Island?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Isle of Man. Sorry. So it does exist.
Dead.
All right. So just as a little recap, just to go over the sort of things we were talking about. So we've commented this quite nicely. So
hello everyone. Again, just in case you've joined the live show.
No one has, unfortunately. But it's our two. These are our day ones. They're still here with us.
Love you guys.
That. But what we've sort of spoken about already was the difficulties of trying to get something done locally is that there's a lack of resources and money, and that's happening across the nation due to budget cuts and austerity and all load of factors that we can't go into right now. But we can at some point. But what we've sort of discussed is the best way to do it is that if we have no money, we have time. And time is at some points more valuable than money. So if you're putting yourself out there, trying to attend events, trying to get networks, trying to know people, and then providing your time and effort for other people, and hopefully creating a healthy network that we spoke with Vikash last week about, that will definitely help you. That will help you sort of gain some competence to when speaking to. Gaining some competence speaking to
those adults.
Yeah. The people who are going to say no to you, because they're only saying no to you because they don't acknowledge you as a competent individual. But once you show your stuff, once you know that you can walk the walk and talk the talk,
organization skills.
Yeah. So then that's what you're gonna get. Speak to your viewers. Engage.
So viewers,
thank you.
Right? Thank you, Bicep.
All right.
Tell us. Go on. Who's on? Who's on?
I don't know. No one's replying right now, but I mean, I know Pi V's out there somewhere. He's
Pi V,
definitely going to be looking at. But yeah,
who's the other person?
I suppose what I'd like to ask you people then, because our two viewers and hopefully our comments as well, once this goes onto the YouTube, is as young people, can you give your thoughts? I don't necessarily want you to give solutions, but can you give your thoughts on why you don't care, or if you do care, why you can't seem to act, like create an action? What is stopping you, so we can try alleviate some of those barriers for you? Moreover, speaking to your friends, of course, what is the general atmosphere you see? Because sometimes the way the media depicts young people as being apathetic might not always be true. I've got a lot of friends who are very proactive in the community, who do want to do things, and it's not always the case. So we'd love to know about the exceptions to the rules, and we'd love to know a different perception. And one final thing we found is a big issue is that there's multiple interests at play. So when you're collaborating with a large number of people, everyone wants a different thing, because essentially everyone's self-interested for either their party, for their group, for their own motivation. So finding that place where you're all collaborating in harmony is very hard to do, especially as you increase the people. So yeah, another viewer's been coming in. So yeah, hello. You've been watching Inspire FM, you, me and a Cuppa Tea. Remember to shout us out on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. If you use Facebook, that is. I don't know how. No one uses Facebook. Nah, it's a bit peak. But yeah, Instagram and Snapchat, give us a little shout out. But yeah, thank you. If you have any questions, please email us at cuppatea@inspirefm. But yeah.
So to our viewers, our audience, please tell us what you guys think. Like, so what was a misconception you guys had about politics, or you guys still feel like politics is.
And what's the barrier to
yeah.
getting
So
involved?
what are your yeah, that's it. What are the barriers for you guys getting involved?
Because we know quite a few people who were trying to get some stuff done, but they stopped halfway.
Mm.
And well, not even well, who knows? They stopped. And what is it that made them stop?
Yeah, definitely. We need to get in touch with those people. As well as that, like going back to mine, Massum's and Amy's experience at the council meeting, because that's where we met Amy, Limbury Ward council meeting. What happened was there's something going. So we have fortnightly bin collections now, and what do they call the bin manage? I want to call them the bin management team.
Refuse management.
Yeah, that's it. Refuse management. Woo! So the refuse management, they sent out. So they say a lot of people don't. They get complaints from a minority group of people saying that the roads are dirty, and then they get these same complaints. No problem. So we get these complaints from a minority group of people that say the roads are dirty and that they don't know why the fortnightly bins are coming. But at the same time, these are the very same people that didn't read the pamphlet. And I said, there's loads of little things that we can do to change that. And the few suggestions that I gave was, the marketing on the pamphlet could change so it's much more eye-catching, even though the information is brilliant. And to elaborate on that, the next solution that I said was, let's get young people involved from colleges in first year who do subjects that can relate to it, like sociology, politics, psychology, geography. Get these young students to conduct voluntary work in regards to questionnaires and understand why these roads are dirty and the way they are. And from there we can bring a change in. And that's like a direct impact. We can see that change. Sadly, all the adults were like, oh yeah, who's got the money? Who's got this? And this was the non-money solution I gave to them.
Which is a valid point to an extent, because you need someone to run that stuff. There's like legal stuff that would be involved in having, say, 17-year-olds doing this sort of work. But realistically, you can educate your community in how to improve their recycling rates.
I'm so sorry, I just like the kettle weed on you. Oh,
you can teach your community how to improve their how to improve their recycling rates.
Our English is malfunctioning today.
It really is.
Let's take a little Zen moment and just meditate. You know, like
we don't have all the time.
No, we don't.
Would you like to finish off your sentence?
Apologise.
So those sort of changes, really start from a local level. Teaching your family about how recycling should be done. A lot of young people are more engaged in that sort of thing, whereas some of their elders may not be as concerned about it.
Okay, that definitely, I understand. I have a question for you. How would you go about when you were young? What would you wish that was there? What do you wish certain outlets, like how would you when you were like a teenager? Sorry. What resources would you have liked to have?
What did you wish you had?
What did you wish you had? Sorry, to be able to engage in this political change in that community change. What do you think? Let's think about it, guys. Because what do we think we need to have to bring that change?
That's two different questions. Because I was always engaged.
Wow. That's very true. But when we,
but then I was
for the
never
people that who are engaged.
But then I was never so much engaged in
local
school councils, etc. And that can be a really good starting point, because it can teach you a lot about how these sort of things have to work and how there's a lot of bureaucracy involved.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. When I was I was a school councillor in year 9, and then I applied again in year 10. But I've basically lashed out of the system because I felt all that bureaucracy, because you have no power really. It's just a figure.
It's an illusion of power.
And so what I said was, nothing's gonna change if you vote for me. So there's not really a point. All you have is just another person here to say that they're gonna do something, but with no promises. And I ended up getting barred from the vote, which is quite funny. But a lot of
this is totalitarian.
a lot of people did vote for me. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like school councils are very big, slap in the face to tell you this is the real world. You actually have no power.
Do you guys think school councils actually disinterest young people in bringing
it? Definitely de-interested me.
Possibly.
Disinterested you?
Yeah. Possibly. Because I do think they're there to give the students sort of the illusion that they have any control, and realistically, do they?
Yeah,
Do we have control,
I feel
guys?
like that's.
I don't know.
I feel like that's quite.
Viewers, do we have
Painful.
control?
I don't know. Do we?
Well, what do we? We have control over ourselves as citizens, so we have rights that we don't know. Did you know that you can actually lobby your MP, your local MP, if you go to the Westminster on a Wednesday, on any issue? So you can make. You have power as a citizen. I feel like we aren't aware of our rights.
Yo, that's so true.
And your MPs are good ones,
Man,
are very accessible. There's a lot of things that
Where's
they
Gavin
can
Shooter
help
at?
you with.
Shade.
Shady.
Where is he though?
I don't.
He's probably busy having some fun. It's Saturday afternoon.
Of course.
Should be helping. He is a.
He should be on the show. We should get him on the show.
He's probably busy working. You know,
Probably.
I'm sure he'd be willing to come on.
I'll give him a give him an email. Let's
If,
see.
Do you think he'll reply?
Of course he will, man.
Of course.
I've never met him.
Source.
I've sent him a letter once.
Oh, did you get a reply?
Did you get a reply?
Yeah, I got a reply.
Yeah.
It was very generic, but I got a reply, so it's good enough.
It's generic though, guys. That's the key word. No, I'm joking. So there's another thing as well. As a councillor, Amy, you said me and Amy and us, Matt Massam, were discussing how wards have their own funding, right? Do wards have their own funding?
To an extent,
Because
there are certain things that you can get funding through. So we've been having these Your Say Your Way meetings in order to fund projects in those particular wards.
Important.
So, yeah, I believe, I'm not 100% sure on how this funding works, they would get specific amounts of funding. But you also get funding when new houses are built in that area, you get a certain amount of funding.
Why?
Stuff like that.
Why do you get money for when new houses are built? Is
I
that
think
like an
it's a
incentive?
legal requirement. Yeah, I think it's an incentive from. I don't really know how it works.
Definitely gonna search that up.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's cool. So
'Cause that might be a nice way to, if you can make your ward more interesting to live in. So try to increase the entertainment or whatever. You have now an incentive to the council. You could be like, this will lead more people to live in your ward.
But yeah, you can apply for various types of funding for any sort of event you want to do, and there is stuff that makes it easier to hold community events, like free road closures or reductions on advertising it and stuff like that.
I have a very completely new point. So it goes back to why we don't take an interest in politics and why is there a clash of opinions and diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, guys, this is my personal suggestion. If you ever take an interest in politics or you're taking an interest in politics, understand economics. Because understanding economics is a very important aspect of politics. Because from there, you'll be able to understand why conservative individual or the conservative parties make the decisions, the policy decisions they do, and vice versa with the Labour Party. And I feel like one thing that would make us more competent as young people when it comes to understanding politics and not being apathetic is understanding how the economy works from a small local level in regards to a business to a big macro level, which is the whole country or the town. And what this will allow us to do is allow us to understand where we should start bringing the change and where we can't get funding from and how we can overcome that issue through, let's say, public fundraising to be able to bring a change to our community. Because a lot of the time, many people, they say, oh, we don't have enough money for that. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But if we understand how economics and accounting and business works, we can actually figure out alternative means to bring a community local change.
Also, you
for young
can you can
people.
generate your own money.
Yeah.
Just to bring it back to NCS, you have to generate most of your money. You get a funding of what, 50, 70 pounds, and the rest you have to make by selling cakes, selling sweets. And it's not impossible. All you need to do is just hire out a venue and then work out how much do we need to sell in order to make a profit.
And also,
Simple
it'll
math.
get to a point where you'll make profit and then you'll get enough money, and then you'll just do events.
And then you can
to be
reinvest
able-
in yourself as
You
well.
reinvest in yourself, and then you'll do events. You may make a loss, but you'll bring the community together. And this goes back to what Vikash was saying. Vikash was saying sometimes you may make a loss, but it's not a problem because you've brought people together and you created that community tightness.
Exactly. And monetary loss doesn't equate
To
loss.
social loss, yeah.
Because you've gained some sort of
Social welfare.
social... Yeah, exactly.
100%. I see that. I
Mhm.
see that. So, Amy, as a counsellor, do you
Mhm.
feel like counsellors would work with the local young people to bring a change? I know you would because that's why you're here, chilling with us. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a G. But
I think, yes, the council would work with young people to bring a change. I think there are various sort of things they're working on around involving young people. There was talk of a youth council at some point, but I don't know if that's going
Yeah,
ahead.
We heard about that. I got invited
Mm.
to be part of the focus group.
Because they were doing focus groups, but haven't.
Mm.
I don't know where the situation of that is. But then you can only do like a youth council if the youth, a
Oh, there.
wide section of youth, are willing to get involved. There's no point really having a youth council if it's the same
Same
15
kids, yeah.
people.
100%. And also, one thing I've noticed about high schools, right? It's always okay. This sounds no shade to the well-behaved students out there who have high aspirations and ambitions, but we've got to represent the student body, the student population proportionally. You know, because you can't just have all the highly smart, good kids who are already organized in the council. We need to inspire young people who aren't really as organized but still want to bring that change, because it's all about lifting each other up. Because, for example, hypothetically speaking, let's say I'm not as organized and Massam is organized, but I know how to articulate my ideas well. Massam will teach me how to organize my ideas better, and I will teach Massam how to articulate himself. So it's about acknowledging the skills you have and we have as individuals and building upon that, and that creates a really strong community, and also that's really beneficial to bring a change in a group. So yeah.
And also, various young people especially, lots of very, very smart young people that just feel like they're disadvantaged and don't have that access to be able to sort of be part of changing it.
So
I had a question actually.
Yeah.
Just this is a quick aside, I suppose, just to give our viewers some hope. Hopefully, have you, after being part of the council, have you witnessed any change?
You've only been on the council for like
8 weeks.
2 months? 2 months? Yeah. Anything in the 2 months?
Literally 8 weeks.
That's a very short time.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Depends what sort of change you mean.
Anything.
Any positive change that you believe is beneficial.
I think what's happened in the last 8 weeks. Well, we saw the change of the bins, which has massively improved our local recycling rates.
Okay.
So that's a positive change in my opinion. Community change. Not really, but then
That's cool. We respect that.
stuff takes a lot of time. So we've seen stuff that's improved, that is the sort of stuff that
From before.
directly affects people. Like we've got more money from the budget, from the Chancellor's budget, to improve our roads and stuff like that. So we've got lots of roads resurfacing to do.
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
And that sort of stuff's going on, which is just it's
beneficial.
change, but it's not.
It's infrastructural, rather.
Change.
Yeah. I feel that.
Mm.
How would you like? How can we bring that change? 'Cause that youth council, do you feel like that's a good place for us to start? Do you think a bunch of young people should email the council and councillors, their local ward councillors, which you can actually find in the Luton Council website, guys? If you type in your postcode, it will actually come up with your council ward.
Mhm.
And message young people to message their local ward councillor about the youth council, so that can come along.
All of the numbers are available, so you can like constantly harass them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
God.
don't be like that.
Not verbally harass them, as in like, why don't you do some change? I want to do this. I want to help you. Like, just send that positivity to them. Spam them with that.
I don't know where this youth council is going to go. Do you think it would make a difference.
I think it'll only make a difference. See, what's interesting is no. So go for it.
Because I think it'll only make a difference if it's representational
Mm-hmm.
and the right people are involved.
Okay, now how would you go about that? Or how would you think we should
Exactly.
go about that?
Do you think the
Well,
right
that
people will
I don't
apply?
know. That I don't know. Like, we find it very hard to get people from certain areas of town to get involved, you know?
Mm. Yeah.
'Cause they're
The
quite
ones that are
reluctant.
more, feel more neglected, maybe.
Yeah. I actually recently looked at the population index 2015 for our town.
Mm-hmm.
I will link all that below into the description. So it was saying how Hightown, there's two parts. So Hightown and the Marsh Farm area actually used to be much more worse than it is now. But Hightown has actually increased in like kind of poverty for some reason in 2015. And the crime has actually spread. So, you see the Stopsley area has crime that's spillaging over from Hightown into that area, which is quite interesting. And I think it's got to do with socioeconomics as well.
On
That's
the
why people
crime
feel
front, we've had our police force.
has been cut.
They work incredibly hard, but
Definitely.
they don't have the money.
Definitely.
They don't have anywhere near as much money as they should have. In Luton, we're only a town, but we're a town with
We're a big town.
big city issues, really. I mean, it's not London, but it's a lot of people, and we have the sort of
270, yeah.
exactly. We have the sort of crime that you see in some cities, and we don't have the funding to
Deal with that.
Do you think
handle it.
young people build? Okay, this is my kind of a solution. This is my personal solution.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think young people building parks together through, like, let's say hypothetically, we've done all the semantics. Do you think us building parks, young people building parks, like calisthenics parks, will stop young people from doing, deviant acts and be more interested in the community? Because it's just a suggestion. Because I felt like if I built my park, I'd be kind of like gassed. I'd be like pretty happy about that. I'd be like, yeah, man, this is my park, bro. I want to use that bar.
Well,
I don't know.
No, okay, cool.
'Cause
And is that bringing that consistent change?
I don't know.
Okay, no. Because this is very nuanced. Because you need to be able to tackle this issue.
Well, I
from
mean,
a very
it's all about what does that bring, who will that affect, and what are the long-term effects.
I think
Maybe it might work on a short term, maybe it might not work on a long term. Maybe it only works for a few people, not many people. We don't really know.
I think we're too. See, for me now, this is now an issue of like. See, we're now asking these questions. Okay, what will this bring? What will this do? And I feel like that's a very. On a local level, I think we just got to do, and see what happens. Because if we spend too much time thinking about what will this bring, what will this do, it'll waste time.
So you can't overthink the reaction. You
just got to do and see.
take action.
Yeah, you got to take action, see what the reaction is.
If it's a zero,
document
if it's a zero sum project, I'm all for it. If you don't make a loss and if you don't make a gain, I'm all for it. Like as in monetarily wise, because if you do something and it has no benefits and you've wasted money, then if all you know is that you've made the town worse off.
How?
Because you've lost money and you've lost time and you lost resources.
So now, if you think of it like that,
that's what I'm saying.
then
if
it becomes negative.
But if you have no gain,
Well, I think
Vikash's perspective.
no. But if you have a zero, no. But he has money that he can lose. If it's sort of our own money,
we can't
if it's
really
our own
lose money.
if it's our own
Shouldn't
money,
be losing money.
by all means, go for it. But if we're using someone else's money, I don't think that's right.
Well, I think if you're trying to improve your town and your community, you're never really wasting time or money.
Of course, if it actually improves it.
But what is actual
No,
improvement?
but
Because you can't.
It doesn't have to actually make the improvement, but the
Of course,
actual
I understand what
taking
you
part and
trying.
trying
social
exactly
aspect.
the social
Yeah, yeah.
aspect.
Because what we can do.
I'm not talking about if socially as well. If it makes a zero sum socially and a zero sum monetarily,
You can't measure that.
of course. But
So
I'm
that's
saying,
a very
well, you
difficult
can
thing just to
you
claim.
sort of can. Actually.
Okay, if you ask a questionnaire.
Yeah.
bunch of
So
people-
you can
But then
quantify that.
you've made no loss.
Yeah, if you made no loss, I'm all for it. But if you make
There's
a
always
You
some-
loss,
haven't
There's always
lost
some gain.
anything by trying.
Okay.
what if you lose resources and people are worse off?
See now,
People
I
feel
feel
like
like
Okay.
now you're just focusing on things
Yes.
that are like
No, because
that
what
aren't pushing
we
us forward.
no, because what we have to be aware of is that
What is money?
money is just a resource.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I think a lot of people would care, especially the higher ups. Definitely.
Yeah.
If we
But
borrow from them.
we're talking about at community level.
Yeah.
If you've tried,
I mean,
you've tried and you lose a little bit
If it
of
was
money.
if it was my own money, I'd have no issue.
What is this-
Exactly.
But if we're borrowing from someone, I definitely
And
feel
what's-
like
Mm.
we'd feel accountable to them, and if we give them a loss, then that's not benefiting them, and it's actually
But what-
putting us worse off.
But the interesting thing is, what is this loss? So where is this money? So the loss of the money is
It's
now
not-
no, because the money still goes back into the local shops that we're buying
Well,
from. So it
that's
doesn't make
only-
a difference because it's still going back into the economy because the money's still flowing. And this is what I mean by it's important to understand the economics behind it.
because that's assuming that we're spending it in the shops. It
Yeah,
depends.
cool,
It depends on
yeah.
what you use the money for.
100%. It's how. So we need to understand how we're going to use our money.
Also,
Mhm.
we
And how
do
we're
have
gonna
only
bring-
5 minutes to wrap up. real
Okay,
quick.
that's not a problem. But we need to. I personally think we need to focus on issues for solving these issues with the least amount of money possible.
Of course,
Because when we
that's
focus on
what I agree.
money, we have this type of conversation occurring, which is
No, because what you're
that
saying
steers us
is
to
what
a
you're saying is
negative dynamic.
what makes me irk, right? What's
Mm.
putting me away is that you're saying we should just do it without thinking, and I
I
feel
never
like
said that to you.
well,
I never
Not
said.
without thinking.
I never said.
well,
do it
you said
without
we should
thinking.
not plan too much.
No, I never.
Yes, you did. You said you said we should not plan too much, rather than
Okay,
thinking
that
about
doesn't
what
mean
this
no planning.
outcome, about what thinking what the outcomes are. We should just do it.
But that doesn't mean no planning.
Of course,
So-
of course.
so
No.
you've
What
made
I'm
an
saying is
assumption.
What you're saying is reduce the amount of time of planning.
No,
Stop
I never
thinking
said
about
that.
the outcomes.
I'm not saying that. I'm
But
saying
that is what you said.
plan. Don't get into the semantics of unnecessary things of such as what will this bring, right? Or
I feel like that's
nuanced things that we can't.
I feel like starting
should
with the
be-
end in mind is a very good idea.
No, what we should start with is what we'd like to have.
Yeah, of course. That's what I
right?
mean.
Not this is what's going to bring, because what we'd like to have and what we think it will bring, they're very different things.
No.
Yes, because
I
what it will
would
bring-
like
No,
to
no, no,
I would
no.
like to reduce the delinquency of the youth. I think this will bring the
Okay, cool.
reduce-
So that's what you'd like.
Yeah.
And now, if we think about we need to bring this, we need to bring that, it gets a bit.
No,
gets
it's the
into
exact
this
same thing.
process of unnecessary. Look, it goes back to when we tried to build Koi. We just kept on thinking about how can we do it, what can we do,
Of course.
and then what we need to do is make a plan, make a decent plan. I'm not saying don't plan. Planning is very important.
Of course.
But when you start over planning, you're never gonna get anything done, right? And you need to be able to bring change because life is dynamic, dude. Like,
Yeah, I know,
What
I
we
know.
need to understand is when we come across issues, things are gonna change, and we're gonna need to change the plan.
But if you don't have a goal to start with,
Mm.
then you're not orienting yourself towards
Of
anything.
course,
But
That's
the
what
aim.
I'm trying
Back
to get
to the
at.
point.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
The
little
only
spat.
way you can make a plan, do stuff, whatever. Who cares?
Just putting your time and effort in.
But gotta put your time and effort in. Get involved in your community.
Of course.
Make a positive change.
Definitely.
Go out and vote because these are the people that are gonna directly help you and represent you.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. See, look,
100%.
Amy is doing the outro for us, man.
There you
She's
go,
she's run
Amy's
out.
got it for us.
Yeah,
Amy.
man. So
You
remember,
should be sitting
like,
behind this desk.
Yeah, if you remember the quote of the day, is,
Exactly.
change starts with you.
The easiest thing you can do to change your community is vote.
There you
It
go.
takes minutes. They can send you it in the post. 30 seconds, post it out again.
Is the local election the same as the national one, or is that a separate one?
So it's separate.
And when is that happening?
So the next local election is on the 5th of May 2019.
Put
think
that
it's
in your
fifth.
dates.
You can get a postal vote. It'll take you no time at all. You can get a proxy vote. If get someone else to do it for you.
Bit
know.
shady, just
We love it like that. This is how we work
if
it,
you want
right?
that to happen.
Yeah, well, you've got to delegate them to
Get things done.
vote the way you want them to.
100%.
But realistically, it's not hard to get
Mm.
out of your house and physically just go tick a box.
Yeah.
Well, 2 boxes in this case.
Oh, because you have 2 wards, 2 councillors.
2 councillors.
Yep.
Or 3 if there are 3 ward counts. 3
What,
council,
3
1
votes,
ward.
1 ballot.
Wait, where is Bury Park?
It's like saying it's a mixture. It's just like
It's
a
not
mixture.
saying.
It's
what?
Dallow
Biscuit and Dallow.
and Biscuit, yeah,
Is
I
it?
think so.
Does that mean I
makes
get
sense
to
to me.
vote for 4 people?
No, it
Well,
depends. on
no,
where you're-
because you'd
It's
be
your
in one
postcode.
of the wards.
We'll find out on 2019.
That's it. So, Master Man,
Alright.
let's go for it.
Yes, do you want to round up?
I would love for you to round up.
All right, yeah, awesome. So let me just get these. So the solutions we sort of came up with, it was a very nuanced topic of debate, which is quite difficult to do. So what I'd basically suggest we have to do is you have to put your time and money in. Time and effort in. Sorry, time is money, basically. Remember that when you're working with multiple interests, try to find something that will benefit everyone, so you can all have a common sense of vision to work towards. Remember that change starts with you. So make sure that you are in yourself trying to envision a better future for your community and for yourself. And that's I think that's about all the solutions we found, really, because this is a very difficult subject. So what you have to understand is start at the point without putting any sort of obstacles on you, whether it's money, resources, or management. Rather focus on what you can do from the bottom up, and then make a plan based on that. Show that you're competent by showing how you're organized, how you thought this through, how you thought of your outcomes, and what you plan to achieve. Once people can see that you're competent and you really know what you're doing, they're more likely to invest their time and money into you, and that's how we can improve our community.
Yeah.
So yeah, remember, thank you all for watching. Remember to follow us on the socials. So Inspire FM Luton, on our they don't have Snapchat, but we have Snapchat, and you know us. So yeah, you can also follow them on Instagram. You can email us at cuppatea@inspirefm.org. Yeah, it's been Mass and Ash. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you, Amy.
Yeah, thank you, Amy,
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. I feel like we didn't cover as much as we're going
That's
to.
politics, isn't it?
Yeah, there's loads of things
Oh,
to cover.
yeah, 100%.
But thank you very much,
We
Amy.
always
It
do it
was
after the
really
cameras.
pleasure having you on, and
Mhm.
we'd love to have you on again another time.
Yeah. And remember to comment all the things that you think are definitely obstacles and things that you wish you had. Yeah. Thank you.